Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tonic in the World right here on Secret TV. And I remain your humble host, Daniel Yashurala. And today we are embarking from where we stopped yesterday, which is the book of Second Shemuel. That's Shemu'el Sheniy, chapter 12. And going straight down to wherever Yahuwah leads us to. And it says, and Yahuwah sent Nathan unto El David, and he came unto him and said unto him, there were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, save one little lamb, which he had bought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him, and with his children. It did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cup, and lay in his own bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. And he said unto Nathan, as Yahuwah lives, the man that has done this thing shall surely die. And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. And Nathan said unto El David, you are the man. Thus says Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharel, I anointed you king over Yasharel, and I delivered you out of the hand of Shaul, and I gave you your Adonis woman, and your Adonis woman into your bosom, and gave you the house of Yasharel and of Yehuda, and if that had been too little, I would moreover have given you such and such things. Wherefore have you despised the commandment of Yahuwah, to do evil in his sight? You have killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and have taken his woman to be your woman, and have slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken the woman of Uriah the Hittite to be your woman. Thus says Yahuwah, behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house, and I will take your woman before your eyes, and give them unto your neighbor, and he shall lie with your woman in the sight of this son. For you did it secretly, but I will do these things before all Yasharel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yahuwah. And Nathan said unto El David, Yahuwah also has put away your sins. You shall not die. Howbeit therefore by this deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of Yahuwah to blaspheme. The children also that is born unto you shall surely die. And Nathan depart from his house, and Yahuwah struck the child that Uriah's woman bore unto David, and it was very sick. David therefore besought Elohim for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. And the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not. Neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For he said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? Then when David saw that his servant whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servant, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. And David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came to the house of Yahuwah and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then said his servants unto him, What thing is this that you have done? You did fast and weep for the child. Sorry, while it was alive. But when the child was dead, you did arise and eat bread. And he said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, Who can tell whether Yahuwah will be gracious to me that the child may live? But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. And David comforted Bathsheba, his woman, and went in unto her and lay with her. And she bore a son, and he called his name Shalomah, and Yahuwah loved him. And he sent by the words of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedidiah, because of Yahuwah. And you have fought against Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and took the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to El David and said, I have fought against Rabbah and have taken the cities of waters. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people together and went to Rabbah. And fought against it and took it. And he took their king's crown from off his head, and the weight whereof was a talent of gold with the precious stones. And it was set on David's head. And he brought forth the spoil of the city in the great abundance. And he brought forth the people that were therein and put them under swords and under arrows of iron and under axes of iron, and made them pass through the bricklings. And thus did he unto all the city of the children of Ammon. So David and all the people returned unto Jerusalem. Chapter 13. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shema, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man. And he said unto him, Why are you, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Will you not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. And Yahunadav said unto him, Lay down on your bed and make yourself sick. And when your father comes to see you, say unto him, I pray you, let my sister Tamar come in and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at a hand. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray you, let Tamar my sister come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at a hand. Then David sent home to Tamar and said, go now to your brother Amnon's house and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her brother's Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in her sight, and did bake the cakes. And she put a pan and poured them out before him, and he refused to eat. And Amnon said, have out all men from me. And they went out every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of your hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she made, and brought them into the chamber of Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and she said unto him, and said unto her, sorry, come lie with me, my sister. And she answered him, nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Yasharel. Do not you this folly. And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for you, you shall be as one of the fools in Yasharel. Now therefore I pray you, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from you. Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, arise, be gone. And she said unto him, there is no cause. This evil is sending me away is greater than the order that you did unto me. But he would not hearken unto her. Then he called a servant that ministered unto him, and said, put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her. And she had a garment of diverse color upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparelled. Then the servant brought her out, and bolted the door after her. And Tamar put ashes on her head, and rent her clothes of divers color that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. And Absalom, my brother, said unto her, has Amnon your brother been with you? But hold now your peace, my sister. He is your brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth. And Absalom spoke unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon, because he has forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass, from after 2 full years, that Absalom, the sheep shearers in Baal Kathor, which is beside Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold now your servant, the sheep shearers, now your servant has sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech you, and the servants go with your servant. And the king said unto Absalom, nay, my son, let us not all now go, lest we be chargeable unto you. And he pressed him, howbeit he would not go, but blessed him. Then said Absalom, if not, I pray you, let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said unto him, why should he go with you? But Absalom pressed him, that he let Amnon and all the king's son go with him. Now Absalom had commanded a servant, saying, mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him, fear not. Have not I commanded you, be courageous and be valiant? And the servant of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man got him up upon his mule and fled. And it came to pass, while they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom has slain all the king's son, and there is not one of them left. Then the king arose and tore his garment and lay on the ground, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. And Jonadab, the son of Shema, David's brother, answered and said, let not my Adonai suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's son. For Amnon only is dead. For by the appointment of Absalom did this had been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore, let not my Adonai the king take the thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead. For Amnon only is dead. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside beside him. And Jonadab said unto the king, behold, the king's son come. And your servant said, so it is. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of speaking, that behold, the king's sons came and lifted up their voice and wept, and the king also, and all the servants wept very sore. But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. And David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur, and there were 300 and was there 3 years. And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead. Now we're in chapter 14. Now you have the son of Syria perceived that the king's heart was towards Absalom. And Joab sent to Tekoa and fetched thence a wise woman and said unto her, I pray you, feign yourself to be a mourner, and put on now mourning apparel, and anoint not yourself with oil, and be as a woman that had a long time mourning for the dead, and come to the king and speak on this manner unto him. So you have put the words in her mouth, and when the woman, the Tekoa, spoke to the king, she fell on her face to the ground and did obeisance and said, help, O king. The king said unto her, what ails you? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and my man is dead, and my handmaid had 2 sons, and they two strove together in the field, and there was none to part them, but the one smote the other and slew him. And behold, the whole family is risen against your handmaid. And they said, deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him for the life of his brother whom he slew, and we will destroy the heir also. And so they shall quench my coal with which is left, and shall not leave to my man neither name nor reminder upon the earth. And the king said unto the woman, go to your house, and I will give charge concerning you. The woman, the Tekoa, said unto the king, my Adonai, O king, the iniquity be on me and on my father's house, and the king and his thrones be useless. And the king said, whosoever from me, says aught unto me, bring him to me, he shall not touch you anymore. Then said she, I pray you, let the king remember Yahweh Elohika, that you would not suffer the revenger of blood to suffer anymore, lest yet they destroy my son. And he said, as Yahweh lives, there shall not one hair of your son fall to the earth. Then the woman said, let your handmaid, I pray you, speak one word unto my El Adoni the king. And he said, say on. And the woman said, wherefore then have you taught such a thing against the people of Elohim? For the king speak these things as one which is faulty, in that the king does not fetch home again is banished. For we must needs die, and as water, and as water splits on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again, neither does Elohim respect any person. Yet he devises means that he banished to be expelled from him. Verse 15. Now therefore that I am come to speak of these things unto my Adoni, be it is because the people have made me afraid. And your handmaid said, I will now speak unto the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid. For the king will hear to deliver his handmaid out of the hand of the man that will destroy me and my son together out of the inheritance of Elohim. Then your handmaid said, the word of my Adonai the king shall now be comfortable. For as an angel of Elohim, so is my Adonai the king to discern good and bad. Therefore, Yahuwah Elohika will be with you. Then the king answered and said unto the woman, hide not from me, I pray you, and bring that the thing that I seek, that I shall ask you. And the woman said, let my Adonai the king now speak. And the king said, is not the hand of Joab with you in all this? And the woman answered and said, as your soul lives, my Adonai the king, none can turn to the right or to the left from oath that my Adonai the king has spoken. For your servant Joab, he bade me that we put all the words in the mouth of your handmaid. To fetch about this form of speech, as your servant Joab done this thing, and my Adonai is wise according to the wisdom of an angel of Elohim, to know all things that are in the earth. And the king said unto Joab, behold, I have done this thing. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom again. And Joab fell on the ground on his face, to the ground on his face, and bowed himself and thanked the Elohim. And Joab said, today your servant knows that I have found grace in your sight, my Adonai, O king, in that in that the king has fulfilled the request of a servant. So Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, let him turn to his own house, and let him not see my face. So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. Now we are in verse 25. But in all Yasharel there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his feet even to the crown of his hair, there was no blemish in him. And when he pulled his head for it was at every year's end that he pulled it. Sorry. There, because the hair was heavy on him, therefore he pulled it. He weighed the hair of his head of 200 shekels of the king's weight, and unto Absalom that, and unto Absalom, sorry, there were born 3 sons and 1 daughter, whose name was Tamar, and was the woman of the fair countenance. And Yerub and Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem, and saw not the king's face. Therefore Absalom sent to Joab to have sent in to the king, but he would not come to him. And when he was sent again the second time, he would not come. Therefore he said unto his servant, See, see, Joab's field is near mine, and he has and set it fire. Just look at how landed property is causing issues between both of them. He said that because his field is near to mine, and he has Bailey there, go and set it on fire. Look at how wicked his heart of man can be. And Absalom's servant sets the field on fire. Imagine. Then Joab arose and came to Absalom unto his house, and said unto him, Wherefore have your servant set my field on fire? And Absalom said unto Joab, Behold, I sent unto you, saying, Come hither, that I may send you to the king, to say, Wherefore am I come from Geshur? It had been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me. So Joab came to the king and told him. Then and when he had called for Absalom, so he came to the king and bowed himself on his face, and the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number +234 811 731 0928.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. So let's make it a wrap on today's episode of the program. Now we're in chapter 15. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, Of what city are you? And he said, Your servant is of one of the tribes of Yasharel. And Absalom said unto him, See, your matters are good and right, and there is no man deputed of the king to hear you. Absalom said, Moreover, Oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which has any suit or cause might come unto me, and I will do him justice. And it was so that when any man came near to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this manner did Absalom to all Yasharel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the heart of the men of Yasharel. And it came to pass after 40 years. Imagine. That Absalom said unto the king, I pray you, let me go and pay my vow that I have vowed unto Yahuwah in Hebron. For your servants vowed a vow while I abode in Geshur, in Aram, saying, if Yahuwah shall bring me again into Jerusalem, then I will serve Yahuwah. And the king said unto him, go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribe of Yasharel, saying, as soon as ye hear the sound of the shofar, then you shall say, Absalom reigns in Hebron. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for Achitophel, the Giloni, David's counselor, from his city, even from Gilo, while he offered the sacrifice. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. And there was a messenger to El David. And there came a messenger to El David saying, the hearts of the man of Yasharel are after Absalom. And David said unto his servant that were with him at Jerusalem, arise, let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly, and bring this evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servant said unto the king, behold, your servants are ready to do whatsoever my Adonai the king shall appoint. And the king went down, and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women, which were concubines, to keep the house. And the king went forth, and all the people went after him, and tarried in the place that was far off. And all the servants passed on beside him, and all the Keritim, and all the Peletim, and all the Gittim, 600 men which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ida, the Gittim, wherefore go you also with us, return to your place and abide with the king, for you are a stranger and also an exile, whereas you came but yesterday. Should I this day make you go up and down with us, seeing I go hither, I may return you and take back your brethren. Mercy and truth be with you. And Ittai answered the king and said, as Yahuwah lives, and as my Adonai lives, as my Adonai the king lives, surely in what place my Adonai the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also will your servant be. And David said unto Ittai, go and pass over. And Ittai the Gittite passed over, and all the men and all the little ones that were with him, and all the country wept with a great voice, and all the people passed over. And the king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and the people passed over towards the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zadok also of all the Levium were with him, bearing the ark of covenant of Elohim, and they set down the ark of Elohim. And Abiathar went up until all the people had done pass out of the city. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of the Elohim into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of Yahuwah, it will bring me back again and show me both it and its inhabitant and its habitation. Sorry. But if it thus says, I have no delight in you, behold, here I am. Let me do to him as seem good unto him. And the king said unto Zadok the priest, are not you a seeker? Are you not a seeker? Pardon me. Are you not a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your two sons with you, Achimaat your son, and Yahunathan the son of Abittai. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to satisfy me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of Elohim again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefooted, and all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. And one told David, saying, Achitophel, is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Yahuwah, I pray you, turn the counsel of Achitophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshipped Elohim before, behold, Akushai the Archi came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head. Unto whom David said, if you pass on with me, then you shall be a burden unto me. And it came to pass in the city, and they said to Absalom, I will be your servant, O king, as I have been your father's servant hitherto. So there I know also be so will I now also be your servant, and may you for my defeat the counsel of Ahithophel, and they you not and have you not there with Zadok and Abiathar the priest? Therefore it shall be that what thing soever you shall hear out of the king's house, you shall share it to Zadok and Abiathar the priest. Behold, they have there with them their two sons, Achimaat and Zadok's son, and Yahunathan, Abiatar's son, and by them ye shall send unto me everything that you can hear. So Cushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. Wow. I'm sure you all actually are blessed with today's episode of the program. I'm sure you're actually following up as well. As we're able to cover from chapter 12, chapter 15 today. Guys, we will see again tomorrow's question where we stop. I remain your humble host, Daniel Yashurala. And with this, I say shalom and bye for now.